Hello and welcome to Dungeon Crawler Video. I'm Jack Jackal, and this week's tape is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, starring Jeff Goldblum and Dick Butkus. This week's tape provided by Video Visions in Chatham, New York. There's been a lot of iterations of this story in general. This is one of many, and one of many that fucking sucks. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, starring Jeff Goldblum as Ichabod Crane, with Dick Butkus, Meg Foster, and Paul Sand.
It was a Don Pardo voice you're doing.
Yeah. I'm doing the voices today. Dick Butkus got me in the mood.
Hey.
Don't. When night falls in the tiny village of Sleepy Hollow, the stillness is broken by the dreaded hoofbeats of the Headless Horseman. Ah, fuck, I fucked this up. Headless Horseman. So sorry. When night falls in the tiny village of Sleepy Hollow, the stillness is broken by a dreaded... When night falls in the tiny village of Sleepy Hollow, the stillness is broken by the dreaded hoofbeats of a Headless Horseman. As he whips through town, his dark cloak casts an ominous shadow over the frightened citizens. And then he is gone again. Okay. The new schoolmaster, Ichabod Crane, arrives at Sleepy Hollow, disbelieving this legend even though his predecessor was driven insane by ghostly spirits. In a hair-raising series of encounters, Ichabod comes face to face with the dreaded horseman and learns the truth behind the legend. Soon this timid teacher transformed from laughingstock to hero in Washington Irving's classic Gothic tale of early America. They're doing so much work in this to make this sound better than it was. I mean, the illustration's cool, like...
Diving right into it, we're mad about a lot of things. No part of the entire thing is upstate New York.
Where did they film that?
In Utah. And
I mean, is that why they filmed it in winter, so nobody would notice the foliage being different? To be fair, growing up in upstate New York, I've had snow on many a Halloween, so...
Well, I don't care, that's not the point. It's not...
Nobody wants to hear about my childhood Halloweens?
There's no way in which Park City, Utah... in the winter looks like upstate New York in any season.
So they just changed it around to make it more, hey, we have time to film this with Jeff Goldblum and Dick Butkus. As a man from upstate New York, having Dick Butkus, the fact that he's just like, I'm a born and bred Sleepy Hollow man, and he's just got this fucking accent. I forgot that a person named Dick Butkus existed. And it's on the cover more than once. It's on the front cover, Dick Butkus. It's on the back cover, Dick Butkus. And that's great. Jeff Goldblum in this is interesting. Immediately, he's like running from dogs. Like, he's just being chased by dogs right away. And you're like, all right, this is obviously Ichabod Crane because he's like kind of being goofy. He gets up into a tree, but not very far into the tree. And he just makes this sound that's just so... It was... I believe this was made for TV.
Yes.
This is a made for TV movie, so I think that they had to keep a lot of stuff in the middle of the road. I don't know where Dick Butkus comes in on that, but he calls him a scarecrow with a scarf.
Looks like a scarecrow with a scarf.
First watch, he was the thing that pissed me off most.
Dick Butkus.
Yes. And then...
Can we get a Dick Butkus counter going? How many times Dick Butkus is mentioned?
We're going to count retroactively or starting now?
No, the whole episode.
Okay.
Just Dick Butkus. 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 Dick Butkus.
Okay.
Dick Butkus. Anyways, like, I just can't get over this picture of Jeff Goldblum.
It's such an odd choice.
It's very funny.
It's one of the...
I can't tell if it's horny or not.
It's irrelevant because one of our biggest complaints in this movie is also that Jeff Goldblum is too attractive to be Ichabod Crane. Ichabod Crane is described in a way that you should read, that I put in my notes.
Yeah, just turn that over. Let me read what you... I don't take notes. According to Irving, Ichabod's appearance is like that of a goofy old scarecrow who escaped the cornfield. Tall but exceedingly lank, hands that dangled a mile out of his sleeves, feet that might have served for shovels. His head was small and flat on top, with huge ears, large green glassy eyes, and a long snipe nose, so that it looked like a cock perched upon his spindle neck to tell which way the wind blew. You cast Johnny Depp in that role?
I don't think it's fair to even compare it.
I love you, Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
So much.
I love kind of everyone in that movie besides Johnny Depp and the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Well, yeah, because that guy's a fucking... Jeff Goldblum was in this movie right after he was in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is kind of a bummer, because that movie's great, he's great in it. I mean, he's arguably kind of an annoying nerd, but he's a good-looking dude. And then he's in this, and then he's in The Fly, where that dude fucks. So it's kind of... why? So yeah, as soon as he meets Brom, played by Dick Butkus, and what's the other dude's name?
Frederick Dutcher.
Frederick Dutcher, played by Paul Sand. They just start ripping into him, like, right away. And as soon as he finds out that Ichabod is the new schoolmaster, he's just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
There's only two kinds of folks that just naturally makes me want to pinch their heads off. Connecticut Yankees and skinny, pinch-faced schoolmasters.
Like, immediately, he's just like, listen, man, I'm half horse, half bear, and 2/3 wildcat.
I'm tougher than old moose meat and meaner than turpentine tonic.
Dick Butkus, former NFL star?
Yeah.
Paul Sand is like he's essentially Gaston's LeFou. If Gaston had a mustache and was named Dick Butkus.
So it's more homoerotic even than Gaston and LeFou.
I mean, I feel like Paul Sand's definitely like, I'll follow you wherever you go. To the ends of the earth. To the ends of Ichabod Crane and back. Big Sideburns comes along, which he looks exactly like the dude that gets the carts at my local co-op. I'm not kidding at all.
So upstate representation is going up as the movie goes.
Yeah. Shout out to the cart guy. Anyway, this guy Vanderhoff shows up, and he's...
You must be Mr. Vanderhoof?
Vanderhoof shows up, and he's like...
If you're not a married man, get in.
Right away. Not only is there... oh, got a hole. He's teaching the children, and he's trying to explain to them his approach to teaching, and he hears an owl, and he's like...
Who said that?
And they're like, oh, here's a weirdly racist name for an owl, but for no reason.
It's our owl, sir. Chief Running Buffalo.
Well, they say it's a ghost of...
Right, because the school itself was built on a burial ground.
Wink.
Poltergeist style. Poltergeist style, or is it a...
Both Poltergeist and Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary. Yeah, let's go Pet Sematary style with this one.
We hate it.
Yeah, it's why? Here's the question. Why? And I think they're just trying to find a way to, like, establish him as, like, I believe in science.
Your stories are nothing but fairy tales.
Part of me is trying to search back in my memory for any time in Sleepy Hollow stories mentioning a owl that's maybe the spirit of a Native American. Like, there's no reason to have this in there at all.
Do you expect me to believe?
In Washington Irving's original story, Ichabod Crane sucks.
It's true. He is mainly interested in Katrina Van Tassel for her money.
Oh, right, yes.
His
he only
motivation-
wants to marry Katrina Van Tassel for her huge tracts of land. Farmland.
You see her boobs in the cartoon, though?
You see her boobs in the movie?
No.
Is that Meg Foster or the other one?
I'm talking about in the 1940 cartoon, Katrina Van Tassel.
See her honkers?
No. She's like drawn like Jessica Rabbit.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I was doing Monty Python.
Yeah.
I was doing Holy Grail.
I watched all of the Sleepy Hollows today, so I'm real fucking...
That was a mistake. Why'd you do that?
real Sleepy Hollow pilled right now.
So, Ichabod goes to the Vanderhoof's house, and Mr. Vanderhoof is definitely trying to set Ichabod up with his daughter.
I said she'd like you.
He keeps trying to sell his daughter as a desirable woman. She's a widow, so she already knows how to... she knows how to cook, she knows how to sew, and not a lot of corners on her.
Turn around once or twice so he can see you ain't got no sharp corners.
Oh, Papa, you're terrible.
Which is a strange thing to say about your daughter, but I don't have one, so I don't know what that's like.
Oh.
So he's hanging out at Vanderhoof's house, his clothes ripped. They're like, let me give you my dead husband's jacket in the meantime. And then as soon as he does that, he looks out the window, and it's not Dom DeLuise, but
I kept thinking it too.
If Dom DeLuise as a person was just dropped into this story as like,
hi, it's me, Dom DeLuise.
I wouldn't question it.
Yeah, I'd be like, wow, this movie's great. This guy is just in a window, and he's like, oh, I saw the face of a man. He was roundish. He describes the guy like pretty poorly, and they're like, oh, it must have been this guy.
Winthrop Palmer. Here's the previous.
Winthrop Palmer.
Palmer!
The previous school teacher. And he's like, what happened to that guy?
I thought you said he was dead.
He is!
Katrina Van Tassel was interested in a schoolmaster, had some poetry read to her, and then Dick Butkus assaulted the schoolmaster, and then Vanderhoof has like this great line.
Brombones assaulted the schoolmaster just for looking at Miss Van Tassel.
Assaulted, peppered, and roasted him too.
Arguably, Jeff Goldblum and Winthrop Palmer are the only two characters using like semi-period appropriate language.
Yep. Well, no. Hold on. Because Dick Butkus has a line.
Who the blazes may you be, stranger?
It doesn't happen ever again. He's like, I'm Dick Butkus, by the way. You trying to take my girl there, big guy? Like, if they had all period appropriate language and then they just had Dick Butkus in there, it was like, I'm gonna fucking tear you apart, buddy. I'll pound you to scraps. Smithereens, even.
Show you my deep dish.
That's how we do it Sleepy Hollow style.
Yeah.
You know what? The more I'm thinking about it, the more I like Dick Butkus.
That's what I'm saying. Watching this the first time, angry about Dick Butkus. Reading more about all of it and watching it again, best part of the movie, actually.
Next thing that happens, we get back to the school, and he's teaching the kids about gravity, which I don't even... Did they fucking know about that back then?
I don't even know when this is supposed to take place.
All the kids are talking shit to this guy. He's like, check out this globe I got. I'll show you how the globe works. And he starts, like, flinging that bad boy around. It goes onto the stove, knocks the stove over, and the school almost gets lit on fire. Dick Butkus is there to save the day. They get the stove outside, and Dick Butkus, to be extra mean...
He picks him up in that weird way.
Yeah, he picks him up in a weird way, puts Ichabod's Butkus on the fucking stove. And he's like, stay away from my girl! And then that's pretty much the end of the scene.
Yeah.
He's just mean to this skinny man in front of a bunch of children, which really sucks, because now they're going to be like, we can be mean to this guy too. So later on that day, after Ichabod has recovered from his butt burns...
Need a butt kiss on that.
Very good.
Thank you.
He also is a vocal teacher, which apparently is in the original story. So he's in there and he's with all the ladies. He's the only guy there. He's a bachelor.
More forward and more forward.
Paul Sand is describing all these things to Dick Butkus in a way that makes it way...
Fred, what's going on now?
Oh, it's better you don't know, Brom.
Probably to the limit of what 1980 public television could let you describe. This movie's actually like...
Through your nose. And now put your lips very forward. That's right. Now breathe in again.
Not spooky at all, but lots of horny implication.
Yeah. So also Paul Sand's view of this was not inaccurate, really.
It wasn't inaccurate. But I feel like he was, describing it in such a way because he wants every person that bothers Dick Butkus to feel a lot of pain because he's secretly in love with Dick Butkus.
Yep.
Hope we got that Dick Butkus counter going.
Oh, I'm all over it.
So he comes out of the church and there's spooky sounds coming from the churchyard, aka graveyard, aka cemetery, aka spooky place. Yeah, spooky place. See if you can actually follow my hand just then. Ichabod Crane is scared, and it just turns out to be Mr. Vanderhoof trying to scare him because he just wants him to believe.
But because of them introing it as the owl having the spirit of the dead Native American chief, he's dressed up as the dead Native American chief.
I forgot about that.
It's awful.
Vanderhoof is wearing a costume that's maybe not great.
It's absolutely.
It's actually, yeah, it sucks. It's not good. When I say maybe not great, it's definitely not a costume you should be wearing. Almost the entire movie is actually 3 different people trying to scare Ichabod Crane into thinking that there's a headless horseman. Or something spooky happening. And they all have different motives. One of them is Vanderhoof, who's just like, you gotta believe in this stuff because it's real. And Dick Butkus is like, let's scare the shit out of this guy because I fucking hate teachers.
And I want him to die.
Yeah. And then there's Dom DeLuise. Not DeLuise. Non-DeLuise. Non-DeLuise.
You loved that.
I'm so funny. What happens after that?
It's Thelma and Katrina hanging out, and Thelma's being like kind of a little B-word to Katrina.
These 2 ladies are acknowledging that each one wants the one that is sort of being forced on them for one reason or another.
You're in love with Brom Bones. You're falling in love with Ichabod Crane?
Thelma married that first guy just to make Brom jealous.
I don't remember that.
She says it, and I went, oh!
Yeah.
Only married Dumpy to make him jealous.
Thelma wants it. Thelma wants Dick Butkus. Both physically and figuratively. And so they devise a plan.
Against 2 women with one idea, they don't stand a chance.
None of this has to do with spooky shit at all. So then there's a dinner party that's maybe a Halloween party. It's a winter party?
No, it's a winter party, yeah.
It's a winter party because this is a winter movie, obviously. It's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Why wouldn't it be a winter party? But they're dancing. Dick Butkus is like, that's my girl! And he takes her and starts dancing with her, and Ichabod fumbles. And there's like way too much like slapstick. This is another movie that needs a bunch of those Looney Tunes sounds where like somebody's like slipping on cakes and whoop, 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 whoop. It was a good like maybe 5 minutes of physical comedy. And then it eventually ends with Dick Butkus picking up Ichabod Crane from the crotch again and throwing him out into the snow.
He throws him through the window.
Oh yeah. Dude, do you know how hard it is to get a fucking window? Now somebody's got to go like sit on a horse and buggy for like 2 fucking weeks to get a goddamn window for this building. Meanwhile, whoever lives there is like just gonna be cold. This movie was so close to having a studio audience.
Yes.
Roll the footage. So he throws him outside, and everybody's like mad at him, and everybody's mad at Dick Butkus, and he's mad at Ichabod. What are we going to do with this guy, right? Every time we get a school teacher, something goes wrong. The beef between Ichabod and Brom, Dick Butkus, is like shown to the whole fucking town at this winter party, where it's like 12 people. What's this fucking
Winthrop Palmer?
Non-DeLuise. Can we get a non-DeLuise counter? Now that Jeff Goldblum has been shown to be, like, on this guy's bad side, Winthrop Palmer is like, oh, I can befriend this guy. Ichabod Crane and Winthrop Palmer encounter each other, and he's like, listen, It's me. I'm doing it. I'm doing it all. Here's why. So I'm fucking crazy. And he just gives him like a quick, nonsensical villain monologue and is like, you want to help me? And he's like, no. And he's like, okay. And he just fucking... Ichabod Crane is just like, yeah, I saw this guy. And they're like, no, you didn't. Like, no, seriously, I saw this dude. Everybody's like, dude, Winthrop Palmer is gone.
Yeah.
Don't fucking talk about him anymore. He's like, okay. Winthrop Palmer shows up again, and I think Dick Butkus, like, set a trap for Ichabod.
Yeah.
But Winthrop steps in the trap and is just, like, hanging there for way too long.
Yeah. The thing itself, when he flips upside down, I don't know if they sped the footage up, but he is yoinked.
like, there is a concussion here.
Yeah. Anyway.
Let's get a concussion counter. And eventually Katrina's dad does discover him. And he's like, oh my god, like, Ichabod's not crazy, I guess. I still don't like him, but not that bad, I guess. So it is established that Dick Butkus is going to try to prank Ichabod Crane into talking more about the Headless Horseman and stuff like that. So he throws a pumpkin at him and shit, and is just like, I'm the Headless Horseman. And Ichabod's like, okay, I don't believe this anymore. If I keep talking about this, I'm not going to be able to make it with Katrina. So there's a point where he gets on a horse and he's chasing who he thinks is Winthrop Palmer, dressed as the Headless Horseman, through the woods. But Winthrop Palmer has already been trapped by a rope, and he doesn't know that, so he just thinks he's chasing just this crazy guy. He escapes him, but he makes it to Katrina's house.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we got the guy. He's like, but who was that? And Katrina's like, shut up, shut the fuck up. And then there's just a Headless Horseman on the horizon, you know, and that's it. That is not a scary movie.
Also, it's revealed that Brom gets caught by Mutton Chops and Thelma pretending to be the Headless Horseman, and then they're like, Sure, sucks that we have to tell on you now, but we wouldn't have to tell on you if you fuck my daughter. Like,
oh, yeah. They bully the bully into marrying this lady who's so down to fuck.
I forgot I was supposed to read a line.
It has to be right.
The two-man saw thing that Dick Butkus and Thelma do together is called a misery whip, which is pretty cool. If you had to operate a misery whip, who would you pick as your partner in misery? You have to pick a character played by Kathy Bates.
Oh. Honestly, her character in The Office.
I would say the mom from Waterboy.
No, she would try to kill you with that thing if you did it wrong.
She's only murder if you're abusive. Like his dad.
She doesn't like anybody. She tried to kill that girl.
It's because she was trying to take her Bobby Boucher away.
If they made an animal cartoon adaptation of Sleepy Hollow a la Robin Hood, what kind of animal would Ichabod be?
He would be a crane. What do you... A crane!
I didn't consider that when I was writing this question.
I thought he was a scarecrow, but turns out he's a scared crane.
Well, what we got here is a scared crane, not a scared crow like we first thought.
Does he really say that?
He says that like first 2 minutes.
God damn it.
Yeah.
This wasn't a good question.
This is a great question for how great this movie is. So. If you like these things, you might enjoy watching this movie once. Jeff Goldblum, Dick Butkus, Meg Foster, Sideburns.
Jovial laughter.
Insane laughter. I was going to say upstate New York lore, but this doesn't count because it's not. Paul Sand? I'm not familiar with Paul Sand's work, but if you are and you like him, give it a try. I don't know. I will give this one bone, but it is a measly, it's gonna snap if you do anything to it, bone.
Anyway. Also, sign up for our Patreon to see my extensive notes that I took on this movie that it's too much to share on camera, but it's important to me, so.